I get asked this question all the time. How far away should your light be? And if you don't have it placed in the right position, you're going to start to run into all sorts of problems. Maybe the exposure on your subject looks right, but the background ends up being way too dark or way too bright. Maybe you're lighting a full body portrait and the feet are 2 stops darker than the face. Or maybe your light is too far away and you're getting hard shadows when you wanted soft lighting. In this video, I'll show you exactly how light distance affects falloff and the overall character of the light in your images so that you can learn where to place your light to get the results that you're looking for. When your light is close to your subject, the brightness falls off quickly. That's the inverse square law in action, and I have a whole video about it up here if you want to check it out, but you already know the basics. Light gets dimmer as you move away from the light source, and that's it. Let me show you a test where I used 3 different modifiers, a 21 centimeter reflector, a 70 centimeter octabox, and a 190 centimeter octabox at different distances from the subject. With the 21 centimeter or 8.3 inch reflector at 0.3 meters or 1 foot, the light is bright on his face and then it goes into darkness really quickly. And look at how dark the background is. By 2 meters or 6 feet, the exposure across the subject and the background is more even. When we place the 70 centimeter or 27 inch octabox about 1 meter away, the light is a lot more even from the top to the bottom. Now let's look at the 190 centimeter or 75 inch octabox. It's huge. We couldn't even get it as close as the other modifiers while maintaining the same angle. Up close, the light falls off quickly, not as much as it did with the smaller modifiers. And once again, if we move it back, we get much more even lighting from the top to the bottom. If you only take away one thing from this section, let it be this. When you're taking 3/4 length portraits, place your light about an arm's length away from your subject. That's somewhere between 0.5 and 1 meter away. If you do this, the light will be a lot more even from the top of their head to their legs. Now, figuring out where to place your light takes not only the skills that you're learning in this video, but also practice. And honestly, that's something that holds a lot of photographers back. A lot of people fall into this all or nothing mindset where they feel like everything has to be perfect before they even start. And when that happens, they don't practice, they don't experiment, and they don't grow. I've definitely seen that kind of thinking before, and the reality is that getting better comes from taking small, imperfect steps and building momentum over time. Now that's where today's paid partner, BetterHelp, comes in. Now, I haven't personally used BetterHelp, but I know a lot of creatives struggle with overthinking and getting stuck in their own head. Sometimes having an outside perspective can make a real difference in breaking that cycle and actually moving forward. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easier. You can take a quiz and get matched with a credentialed therapist, communicate in whatever way works best for you, phone, video, or text, and switch anytime if it's not the right fit. Over 6 million people have used BetterHelp, and it has a 4.8 out of 5-star rating on the App Store. So if you want to take that first step, go to betterhelp.com/JohnGress or click in the link in the description to get 10% off your first month. Next, let's talk about full body portraits because this is where distance becomes even more critical. Here's a test I did with Tanya using a 70 centimeter octabox. Turn your face more that way. Yeah, and your eyes over here. Good. When the light was close to her, about 1 meter away, her face metered at f8 and her feet metered at f4. That's a 2-stop difference from head to toe. So what does that mean? That means that I took my light meter and I measured the light falling on her face, and I turned up the power or adjusted the power of my light until it said that f8 was the correct setting on the camera to use in order to get a proper exposure. Then without changing the light, I metered the light hitting her feet, and it said that f4 would be the proper exposure to get her feet exposed correctly. That's a 2-stop difference. That means that there is 4 times as much light hitting her face as was hitting her feet. When we moved the light further back, around 2 meters, the exposure evened out, and this time there was only about a 1-stop difference from her head to her toes. But there's a trade-off. As you move the light back, the distance between the light and the subject and the light and the background becomes more equal. This is going to make the background appear brighter in the second shot relative to the first photo. If you want the background to go dark again, just move the light and the subject closer to the camera. If you want the background to go brighter, do the opposite. Next, let's talk about character, or more simply put, Hardlight versus Softlight. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, there's a general principle in photography that says the larger the light source is relative to the subject, the softer the light will be, and the smaller it is, the harder the light will be. Now, let's put that more simply. The bigger it looks to them, the softer it will be. The smaller it looks to them, the harder it will be. So soft light is characterized by matte skin, it's not shiny, the wrinkles aren't that noticeable, the texture isn't popping, and there's a subtle difference between the midtones on the face and the shadows. Then hard light, on the other hand, is the opposite. There's going to be a lot of texture, a lot of wrinkles, the skin is going to look shiny. That difference between the midtones on the face and the shadows is going to be very abrupt. And there might even be a shadow of their nose going across their face, and the shadows on the other side might be a little deeper. There's going to be more contrast. So a common mistake is that your light source is too small relative to your subject to get the character that you're looking for. So you're going for soft light, but now you've ended up with hard light. So you might move that light closer to soften the lighting. That will make it look larger to your subject, and therefore it will be softer. And yes, that will reduce the contrast, but it also makes the fall off more extreme. Now the face might be properly exposed, but the legs are noticeably underexposed, which brings us right back to the problem that we had earlier. So a better solution might be to place a larger modifier further back, one that can cover the full body more evenly while still producing soft light. But even that comes with a trade-off. Here, Josh is lit with a 190 centimeter indirect octobox. It's several feet away from him, the light is soft and even, but look closely, there's not a lot of definition in the arms or the torso. The shadows are actually too subtle in order to give shape to his form. Now here's a 70 centimeter octobox at generally the same distance, and the light is still soft enough, it's even head to toe, but the shadows are a lot more pronounced, and you can see a lot more structure in his physique. So the key takeaway is that sometimes you're going to want to use a large modifier further away to get more even coverage, head to toe, but other times you might need to use a smaller modifier because your subject matter requires more contrast. Now let's talk about beauty dishes because they behave a little differently. The optimal distance for a beauty dish is usually equal to its diameter. So if you're using a 70 centimeter beauty dish, your baseline placement should be about 70 centimeters from your subject. The reason why is that the light rays from this modifier tend to converge at that distance. But test your modifier like I did to be sure. Depending on your subject or the specific design of your beauty dish, that distance might shift slightly. But in my test, that diameter equals distance thing did ring pretty true. And I've got a long format video all about beauty dishes if you want to check it out over here. So how far away should your light be? Well, that depends. As we saw at the beginning of the video, the distance of your light to your subject determines your coverage generally from head to toe. So if you're shooting a close-up portrait, that distance is not going to need to be too far back. But if you're shooting a full-body portrait, you are going to have to move it further away. And the second thing to consider is the character of the light that you're going for. So if you want to end up with soft light, you're going to have that light source look fairly large to your subject. If you want hard light, you're going to have it look fairly small to your subject. So once you've determined the distance that you need in order to get the coverage that you're looking for, pick a modifier that is the appropriate size in order to get the soft or hard light that you're looking for, And if you're using a beauty dish, you're probably going to have it at diameter equals distance, give or take, because that's where beauty dishes are at their best. I hope this all helped and made sense. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.